Thank you for your time today. Let's spend the next few minutes talking about how Zerto can help you achieve an uninterrupted business, a 24/7 business, and why customers just like you trust Zerto with their most critical digital assets. Part of the reason I'm excited to talk with you today is because of what we do to help organizations like yours protect, recover, and move data and applications for continuous availability across on-premises, hybrid, and multi-cloud environments. We've been building a global business since 2009 with over 2,000 partners that share our vision, including strategic partnerships and alliances with many of the same organizations you also rely on. We currently serve over 9,500 customers in over 100 countries. As we look at those customers, from large to mid-size and small enterprise, they come from a variety of industries with a variety of infrastructures and often very different needs. But what they have in common is the need to run an uninterrupted business no matter how technology evolves or what new threats develop. When we talk to those customers, they typically share three main concerns that are top of mind for them. The first challenge is the continued threat of cyber attacks, malware, and specifically ransomware, which has become a top priority for all organizations we speak to. You know as well as I do that this is no longer a niche threat, and it's really part of the larger picture related to disruptions. To succeed as a digital business, there is no tolerance for downtime from any disruption, whether natural disaster or through human error. And lastly, the acceleration of cloud adoption, of hybrid and multi-cloud, has introduced new complexity for IT. The cloud footprint is expected to grow to 100 zettabytes by 2025. Organizations are challenged with migrating to the cloud, getting the most out of their cloud investment, and ensuring their cloud strategy accounts for the threats of ransomware and other disruptions we've just been talking about. In particular, we're meeting the challenges you face with a laser focus on three key use cases: ransomware resilience, disaster recovery, and multi-cloud mobility. We're focused on these to ensure that all our customers can achieve continuous protection for any app, any cloud, and any threat. All of this is based on a foundation of continuous data protection, or CDP, the space that Zerto has pioneered and been a market leader in for over a decade. We're a market leader in DR because of the four key differentiators: continuous data protection, orchestration and automation, multi-cloud, and simplicity at scale. First of all, the continuous data protection we've been talking about is made possible with Zerto's block-level replication. And this is near-synchronous replication, so it's the best of both synchronous and asynchronous approaches. Because we sit at the hypervisor level, we can be a fully software-only solution that is totally independent of the underlying hardware and infrastructure, including storage. That's part of why Zerto works so well across hypervisors, clouds, and platforms. You have the choice to do what's best for your business while Zerto effortlessly works in the background without impacting production. And remember, that continuous work in the background is completely hands-off for you. No fiddling with backup windows or tweaking schedules. No managing snapshot chains or wrangling a mess of agents. You simply set it up, replicate, and it stays always on to keep you always protected. Part of what makes CDP with Zerto so powerful is the unique journaling capabilities we have. Just being able to capture a write or an I/O does not mean you have true CDP. It has to be paired with a dynamic, battle-tested, hyper-efficient journal. The Zerto journal tracks every single change made in your application or on your server, and it logs these as checkpoints every 5 or 10 seconds, even when you have hundreds or thousands of servers. This innovative journal can store the changed data for 1 hour up to 30 days, and it offers you unmatched granularity when it comes to recovery. Whenever needed, you can simply rewind to an old checkpoint and easily recover from that exact point in time. For example, if ransomware hits at 10 a.m., it's very easy to roll back to 9:59 and 55 seconds and completely mitigate the infection. That's really the power of the Zerto journal. Lastly, when we talk about true CDP, we have to keep a focus on the applications themselves and not think of individual servers in isolation. Modern apps are likely comprised of multiple VMs or containerized pods, all interdependent. Think of a front end connected to a database, with a load balancer and a file server in the mix as well. Legacy data protection makes life harder for IT teams like yours by offering restore points from very inconsistent points in time, extending RTO and complicating recovery. Zerto, on the other hand, solves the challenge of recovering complex enterprise apps by protecting your workloads as a cohesive, logical entity. That way, you avoid the inconsistent recovery of multi-VM applications where each VM is being restored to a different point in time. And this is more than just bundling VMs together as a group to help with management, although that's part of it. With Zerto, when creating recovery points, all the VMs will share the same validated checkpoint with write order fidelity across all of them, regardless of which underlying hosts or data stores are being used. No small feat. When the application is recovered, every VM that makes up the application spins up from that same cross-VM recovery point. All these can come up as a whole in the boot order of your choice without any extra work on your part. This allows you to protect and recover complex multi-VM applications together as one unit to the exact same point in time. It saves a ton of resources when you're trying to reduce the amount of time dedicated to recovery. That simplified recovery we're describing here is powered with a built-in orchestration engine. It's not a separate product that's been bolted on top. With Zerto, you simply select the applications or servers you want to recover, pick the exact point in time you need down to the second, and then start the failover, test, or restore process. When there's a disruption or outage, this kind of blazing fast recovery is exactly how you can dramatically limit downtime and get back up and running quickly. We pair that orchestration engine with automation extending from start to finish, top to bottom. For example, you can automatically deploy Zerto components with pre-configured settings. If a new host comes online, Zerto data movers can be instantly installed. It's not just new hosts, however. If new VMs need protecting, you can use vSphere tags or Kubernetes annotations to ensure they replicated, including balancing that replication and scaling up, down, or out as traffic fluctuates or your business evolves. And of course, these three examples are only the start. You can really make Zerto fit your needs precisely with open REST APIs. All of it designed to maximize your time and help you stay focused on other strategic projects without worrying about the bits and bytes behind the scenes of Zerto. One of the ways in which Zerto's orchestration and automation really comes alive is with failover testing. Our customers are dramatically reducing the time it takes to do testing, the complexity involved, enabling them to test often and test comprehensively. One example is from an insurance company who used to have extensive runbooks and lengthy DR exercises. With Zerto, they've reduced that by 98% and taken a complicated 3.5-day process down to only a couple of hours. They're just one of many customers who realize value every day from our non-disruptive testing, and the fast RTOs those tests demonstrate are very achievable for their business. When we talk with customers about all the advantages we've just been looking at, top of mind is always where they can achieve this. They're running disparate platforms and multi-cloud environments where continuous availability is critical no matter where the applications live. And that's really where Zerto can add value by unlocking true hybrid cloud resilience. Some customers are wholly focused on private cloud, others are deeply engaged with our managed service partners, and others are really ramping up their public cloud usage. Regardless of where you are on your cloud journey, Zerto can help you minimize data loss and downtime. We can help you move to, from, and between clouds. Then evolve with you if you start looking at emerging tech like Kubernetes or need data protection for SaaS apps like Microsoft 365. When you think about those cloud models, whether infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, or software as a service, there are a number of use cases that instantly become available. DR to the cloud, for example, is a great way to get an off-site target and kickstart a cloud strategy. Once you're using cloud, there might be a need to migrate up there altogether, or even migrate out if your strategy changes. Inside the cloud, we offer orchestrated, highly scalable DR for born-in-the-cloud instances, migrated workloads, or your Kubernetes apps. To dig into that Kubernetes piece a little deeper, what we're talking about here is data protection as code. It's about purpose-built, declarative protection of stateful and stateless apps and all related resources that comprise an app. When we talk about multi-cloud, this is really a great example since Zerto for Kubernetes supports almost a dozen platforms across on-prem and cloud. Similarly, we have Zerto in cloud for organizations who are all in on AWS and need cross-region and cross-zone DR. The same orchestration engine we've had on premises is now running in AWS in order to natively protect EC2 instances. Like Zerto for Kubernetes, it's an API-first approach that uses data protection as code to improve efficiency and ensure no workload goes unprotected. By integrating seamlessly into your DevOps workflows, every app can be protected from day one of its lifecycle. Lastly, it's worth mentioning that one of the advantages we have when it comes to hybrid cloud is the power of HPE behind us and what you get with HPE GreenLake. Their highly available software as a service platform is unlocking data protection as a service across both backup and DR. HPE Backup and Recovery Service is available today and offering a drop-dead simple solution for reducing your backup storage footprint by 80%. And in 2023, we'll also be launching HPE GreenLake for disaster recovery to bring Zerto's leading CDP technology to their cloud platform. You can get engaged today, though, by signing up for preview access and getting to test drive what next-gen DR looks like with hybrid environments. The easy, fast deployments we're seeing with HPE GreenLake is something our customers have experienced on-prem with Zerto for many years now. It's all about accelerating time to value and eliminating any barriers to getting your applications protected. We have one biotech customer who is up and replicating 1,500 servers in about 3 weeks. They're leveraging our advantage with being software only and the way we can rapidly automatically scale out to start getting you those extremely low RPOs. In their case, it's single-digit RPOs across a multi-cloud deployment. Part of the reason customers can get up and running so quickly and then adapt as things change is that our flexible architectures enable a very wide range of configurations and deployments. In this example, we're showing a setup with both local replication and remote replication to a DR site, plus additional off-site immutable copies hosted on-premises or in the cloud. There are only a couple of Zerto components to deploy, and all of them are very lightweight and efficient so that you're not wrangling high-spec media agents or micromanaging a mess of proxy servers. And one of the great things here is that we can leverage the storage of your choice, even disparate arrays or a mix-and-match approach. As our customers like to say, you simply point Zerto at the target you want and click Go, and you're off replicating very quickly. And finally, that replication and journaling we've been discussing is all easily reported on in a variety of ways. We give you complete multi-site visibility through Zerto Analytics, our software as a service solution that's included at no additional cost. With Zerto Analytics, you can view the protection and recovery status of all your applications, including tracking both protected and unprotected servers. If you want to protect those servers, we include forecasting tools that use your real-world I/O and throughput data to calculate what's going to be required. You can get intelligent insights into what a Zerto deployment might look like when replicating to vSphere or up to the cloud. Everything we've just been describing, all those technical differentiators, it all means nothing if it's not delivering real value for real customers. The reality is that true CDP we've been discussing is put to the test every single day by some of the largest companies in the world running the most demanding workloads. Zerto is the only company with a CDP solution that can deliver single-digit RPOs across thousands of VMs, and do that across totally disparate infrastructures, requirements, and applications. What we're really talking about is radically simple CDP at scale with proven reliability and proven performance in some of the most intense digital environments. It's the reason we're the gold standard, and the reason everybody from nonprofits to governments to Fortune 100 companies trust us with their most critical digital assets. And it's important to keep in mind that those single-digit RPOs have real-world implications. It's not just a theoretical exercise because taking your RPO down to seconds can save an enormous amount of money no matter what industry you're in. Time is money. Data is money. And put together, you're talking a very high cost of downtime with legacy solutions. When your RPO and RTO are measured in hours, every single incident or outage ends up costing much more than it has to, $2 to $8 million in these examples. Whereas Zerto is enabling customers to radically reduce data loss and downtime by recovering within minutes, at scale, from any point in time. You can rewind and resume operations without having to go to last night's backup or a replicated snapshot that's aging rapidly. Pick a checkpoint that's just 5 or 15 seconds prior to the incident, then roll back within a few minutes to pick up right where you or your application left off. No fuss, no hassle, and a dramatic cost savings compared to alternatives. We do know, though, that these aggressive RPOs might not be right for every single workload in your data centers. This is exactly where our complete data protection portfolio comes into play. For those Tier 1 or 2 apps, the mission-critical servers, you can use Zerto to achieve stringent SLAs and then add backup for the entire digital estate. Those lower-tier applications can benefit from something like Zerto Backup for Software as a Service or HPE Backup and Recovery Service. You get full-spectrum protection with long-term retention and archiving that can stretch for years. But of course, there can also be overlap, where you might have routine restores or operational recovery, where pulling from either the Zerto journal or your backup copy might be equally fine. You get the combined power of two best-of-breed solutions unified in one portfolio, so you can tailor protection to each workload, tailor each SLA depending on their exact needs. And it must be noted, all of this is backed by HPE storage, compute, and networking, so you can leverage composable data protection to build the strategy your business requires. Together, Zerto and HPE are solving for any disruption across both unplanned and planned. By unplanned, I mean the disasters and incidents that can really put IT on their heels. These are the reactive events that you have to be prepared for. Yes, it's natural disasters, but it's also handling simple file corruptions all the way to serious cybersecurity breaches. But on the other hand, there are good disruptions, the kinds of disruptions that can drive a business forward and drive digital transformation. These planned disruptions are the proactive initiatives that will help you meet strategic objectives. And you can see on the right here some examples, such as cloud adoption or pursuing a growth strategy through M&A. What Zerto is enabling here is allowing IT to be resilient enough to stay protected no matter what unplanned disruptions come along, while simultaneously innovating for the future and proactively leveraging our technology to progress their business. You can see some examples here of customers who have done just that using Zerto. Customers who are achieving real value by using us to help create an uninterrupted business. You can see some of their stories here, although in particular I want to call out the United Airlines story, given what we were just talking about in terms of the cost of downtime. United uses Zerto to protect their website and app, which is critical to their business, that could cost them as much as $1 million an hour if it's down. They rely on Zerto 24/7 to give them continuous availability and ensure business continuity if anything should disrupt their operations. It's just one example of many of the positive outcomes our customers, whether large or small, are seeing on a daily basis. Those positive outcomes are only possible because of how Zerto is enabling them to achieve continuous protection for any app, any cloud, any threat. Zerto can help you mitigate disruptions by protecting your brand from outages and disruptions. You can neutralize ransomware threats by recovering in minutes to seconds before an attack. If you're looking to modernize your infrastructure, Zerto can remove complexity to support disparate infrastructures and capitalize on new tech. You can unlock multi-cloud and hybrid cloud to drive digital transformation with cross-platform protection for infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. We can help simplify migrations as well by reducing resources and speeding up consolidations with hassle-free cross-cloud mobility. And lastly, it's all about improving operational efficiency with automated orchestration and consumer-level simplicity that's brought to the enterprise to streamline IT operations. All those benefits you just heard, you really don't have to take my word for it. I encourage you to explore Zerto and get hands-on with it to see for yourself what Zerto can do for you. We're happy to do a personalized demo. You can try Zerto in a free, on-demand lab, or deploy it yourself in your own data center with the Zerto Free Edition. And lastly, I would really encourage you to talk to our current customers. Read what they have to say in these review sites, and get the truth straight from people who have been in your shoes. You'll hear from them exactly how Zerto has changed their business and allowed them to achieve continuous availability and realize the promise and potential of a world uninterrupted.